Hey guys, it's been a while. It's almost the end of 2018. The holidays are right around the corner, and I'm sure you're looking to grab some sweet gear before the holidays are over. I have a few recommendations of some pieces that I've used throughout 2018 that I think are essential. So let's get to it. The first one I want to talk about is basically the SmallRig cage. What I love about this cage is it's really inexpensive, it's built very well, and it's got a ton of really amazing accessories. So the cage comes off right now, it's just the cage itself. You've got a cable lock here that comes with the cage, which is really nice and useful. And what I really love about it is you can get different handles, also semi-inexpensive handles. I'll share the links below of all the pieces I have here, show you a little bit more detail. What I really love is this articulating add-on that I have here for monitors. Now, if you look at more expensive setups like the Red, they have a nice articulating arm for the monitor, and I think they borrowed that design from there. What's really great about this is I can keep my monitor low, so the camera doesn't have to be so high, so if I'm doing some low-end shots, I've got it down low here. If I want to do straight ahead shots, this is great too. And if I wanted to switch this over to make this a vlog setup, I can switch it back around. Now, I did like the SmallHD's hookup in their bracket system, and it was really cool without a cage, but I think with the cage, this makes a lot more sense. Now, these pieces are not that expensive, and I think they're really durable, sturdy, and don't really loosen up. I was using different ones, and they just get loose after a while, and it really stinks. The other great thing about the SmallRig cage is it has all these really nice accessories. This handle is on a quick release. You can just turn it off, slide it right off here, just like that. Now I'm back to a lightweight setup, which is really great when I don't need the monitor and I'm just going out to shoot some photography or just need a lightweight setup. It's really great. Before, I used to have a gorilla arm hooked up to it, and I had to take the whole thing apart in order to keep it light. Additionally, what I really like about this cage is it does really well with the Ronin M. I have no problem balancing it. It handles the weight without a problem, which is great. So then I can take it off, put the handle on, and build it back up when I need to. But overall, handles extremely well with the Ronin and doesn't affect it in any which way as far as what the motors can and can't handle. So I really like that about this one. So having this has been a huge plus, and I've been taking it on and off, no problems. It's an amazing little setup. The other thing I wanted to talk about here is it comes with this really nice base plate as well. This is the base plate that they offer here. It's quick release, just a standard base plate. I like it. It fits really nicely with this cage. If you're interested, I'll also put the links below. But there's a few other items I really wanted to talk about. I was using the Mic Video Pro, which is the bigger version of this little guy here, and I'll get into why I ended up taking that mic off, not using it anymore, and using this one instead. One, it has a lower profile, and honestly, the sound is really the same. Again, it's powered through your actual camera, which is really nice, as opposed to putting batteries inside your mic, which you know how it goes. Those 9 volts, sometimes they die. I forget to turn it on and off. If you have the newer one, it turns off. But this is actually a perfect situation for me, keeping this camera super lightweight, and I really love that. If you're doing a lot of photography or you're shooting outside and you're not using the monitor and you really want to get close up, again, what's great about this cage setup here, the handle is short, and I can also just clears me here. So if I want to take a photo, it's not in my head, it's not touching my head, and it's really comfortable. Again, this cage is super light, so I love using it, and having this setup just keeps me super duper mobile, and I really like that. So I think it's important if you're looking for somewhat of a professional rig, but also keep it small and light. Now, I can build this rig up, and I'll show you some stuff, what I'm shooting right now on the A7S II, and how that's hooked up, and some accessories that I have on there, which is a little bit more, I'd say, overkill for day to day. Now, I've talked about this before. This is the handle that you can actually attach to the bottom of your camera, and I think what's really good about this is it gives you that extra stability. Yes, we have stabilized lenses, they're IBIS in the cameras themselves, but this gives you that extra hold on your camera. So if you wanted to hook this up, I can disconnect it here, put it on the bottom. Now I've got another point to kind of grab the camera on, which is really great, and I've talked about this in my past videos as well. This is such a worthwhile item. It's super cheap. It's got this pistol grip, which is really comfortable in the hands, easy to screw on. Again, I'll show you some details on that. It's been something that I've had for years, and I've used it through actually a few cameras. It's a great little add-on to get. It's a great gift to buy somebody if they're looking for it, or even for yourself. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was the GoPro Hero 7 Black. Why I got this camera was really basically for the stabilization. Now the menus have changed, but it's basically feels like the 6 and the 5. But again, if you need this as a tool, another way to tell the story, if you need different perspectives, mount it on your car, on your bike, whatever the situation is, you're familiar with sports cameras. But what's great about this camera, I finally got to kind of put this thing together to make it more of a vlogging camera when I don't want to carry something as big as this with me, or if I just want to do a quick shoot or use certain angles that I need to. Mounting this inside of a car or on top or outside of the car, I'm always worried that it's going to fall off with suction cup mounts and everything else. It just becomes really expensive to get these really short shots that I need. So I decided to use this one. Now I'm going to show you how this kind of builds up into a mini little production sports cam. So with a few accessories for the GoPro Hero 7 Black, you've got a cage. This cage is actually pretty inexpensive. It comes with a clear UV filter. I bought an ND filter for it as well. I'll put the description below and I'll give you a link to that. Also very inexpensive, directly from Amazon. Great little filter, and it is a variable filter. It's made by K&F. Great filter, so far so good. I'm gonna screw this on and put together the kit now. So I got this adapter from GoPro. This allows me to use pro audio with this particular camera, hooking up to the cage. I had to make a few modifications to make it work, but again, once it's all together, it's really nice. So this is basically it, all kitted out. So now I've got this Rode mic on there. I've got the GoPro adapter to get the mic pulled in back here. I've got the ND filter, which really helps cut down the light, and I have a lot more control. And this actually grades really well with my other cameras as well. So really happy with this. It's lightweight and I can mount this everywhere. So one more piece of gear I got with this was a suction mount grip. This suction mount grip is really great. I got it basically at Best Buy. It was really inexpensive and I had it hooked up to my car. I can show you some of these clips. It hangs on really well. This wasn't too heavy for this, and I'm using a gorilla arm for it as well, so I can articulate when I'm inside the car or outside the car. It really is a useful little tool just to add to this little kit, which is amazing. One more gear that I wanted to talk about was this adapter. It's for FD to Sony E-mount lenses. What's great about it, it's really cheap. It's actually a dummy adapter. It does not control anything, any electronics, so this is a completely manual lens. But this gives me a really inexpensive lens from 80 to 200. This lens is really nice, and it does have that vintage look. I'm really happy with it. The actual adapter itself was inexpensive. I'll put the details below. And I think it's a good thing if you want to buy some extra lenses and not spend a ton of money, and you're okay with using manual. Now this isn't the fastest lens, and I know there are some out there. You can find them on eBay. Again, it's FD Canon lenses. They're actually really nice pieces of glass. So if you're interested, I can put some sample links below to some FD lenses that I really like, and the adapter. This again will give you just a lot more options to buy lenses if you're okay with using manual lenses. Another great piece of gear is the Zoom H4n Pro. Now this thing is great for a few reasons. So if you want to capture some audio beyond using your camera and you want to get some Foley sounds, let's say for something you're working on, this is really great. If you're doing a VO session where you don't need someone on camera, this is another particularly great option for you. Now what's great about this mic, it has XLR input, or you can use a regular stereo mic. The quality is really good. Again, it takes SD cards, and it gives you the freedom to record. Now, I'm going to show you something that I use, and I'll talk about with my A7S II, and I have an adapter that comes from my mic itself right into camera, and I'll show you how that setup is. But when I don't have that and I want to use this on the field, I can hook this up right into my camera if I wanted to, or I can do a direct out and have a sound person using this to bring sound in. It's a really great tool. I think it's something that's a necessity, whether you're shooting vlogs, if you're shooting interviews, or you're just shooting short film. This is a great tool to have. Like I said, I've used the predecessor of this. It's a great tool to have. Now, one of the things that I really love and use all the time to showcase products and to obviously all the things that you see kind of spinning around, this is really a valuable tool. So if you're shooting any sort of product features, product reviews, this has been such an asset for me. Again, very well priced. This thing's been around with me for probably over a year. It's made by Vello, and basically you can add this specific turntable here, and that turntable goes on top. It comes with the remote itself. The other good thing is you can also mount your camera on here, which is really funny. So if you wanted to do, you know, let's say a GoPro or even a smaller camera, you can probably get the A7 series cameras on here as well. I use it actually with my A6000. So if you wanted to do some sort of time lapse, you can program it, and it can do stuff like this as well. Again, great little tool, comes with a remote, has a lot of practical uses. So there's one more product I wanted to talk about, and this is the 90mm macro. It's a Sony E-mount lens. It is full frame. It's a great lens. It plays two purposes. It's a 2.8 lens, and it's, again, 90mm lens. Now what's great about this lens is you really get detail with this lens. And having a macro lens, if you haven't had one before, it just changes the game in a different way. We're so used to seeing everything in these kind of like big wide angle lenses. This gives you another way to kind of storytell, and I think it's a great lens. I couldn't recommend it more. Again, I'll be showing some clips as I'm talking about this particular lens and things that I've used it for. It's not the cheapest lens, but it's not the most expensive lens either. Again, it brings something new to the table, gives you something different to show. You know, again, we shoot with these wide angle lenses, and that's wonderful, but I'm kind of over it. This gives you a little bit more of a creative look, especially if you're looking for some close-up shots. It's so detailed. And again, love this lens. Couldn't recommend it more. I've had two of these. One broke, not because of how it was built. It got dropped. So I loved it so much, I got another one. But again, love this lens. Couldn't recommend it more. So 2018, this gear has been so helpful to me. And again, if you're interested, the links will be below. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if you have experiences with this gear or want to ask any questions about it. I'll be glad to answer those questions. I wanted to do more of an in-depth review on the GoPro Hero 7. I've seen some videos out there, so I'm not sure if I'm going to pull the trigger on that or start concentrating on other videos as well. Again, 2018 is coming to a close. Thanks for watching. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and hit that bell button. I'm going to try to make a lot more videos this year. So again, guys, thanks for tuning in, and I will see you next time.